Okay, this is kind of where we left off in the last session, minus the plants, and I kept this guy here. I haven't really deleted them or anything. I just turned them all off and just turned him on. And then what I did while you were gone, I did a test for a plant I think I would prefer, and it's actually a little easier to do, and so I'm thinking of having all of those in there. The other thing I did was created a sketch that I could place on top of all this with the plants in their proper place, so this guy is obviously not, and where I want them to be anchored into the rocks or into the sandy bottom here. And there we go. So in this session, what we're going to do is this guy right here. Okay, so now what we need to do is some cleanup. And so what I'm going to do is keep plant 2 here, but I've already made a copy of this, so I'm not really losing anything. But what I want to do is, basically, even if I were to lose this, it wouldn't be that big of a loss because all of those were copies anyways. So what I might do is delete everything except the originals there. I think that's a better thing to do. I may want to steal something from them. Since you've done it, it's your work, and if you take something from one piece to the other, that's not stealing, but it's your work. But it's reuse, you're finding other ways to use what you've done. Okay, let's go ahead and delete that one too. Okay, so now I have that and this one that we did earlier. So what I'm going to do, we'll create a folder and just call it archive, or just call it archive, like that. And then what I'll do is move those two. Now just drag them into that folder. And I'll go ahead and turn them on and then turn off the folder itself, like that. And then we'll have this one here. And so now what we're going to do is do this one over here. And we'll use then my sketch as the way to know how to do the placement and everything. So I'm going to create another folder. We'll put it under that one, just like that. And I'm going to call this, we'll call it, P3. Okay, and I may want to have a way of discerning from the folder name what this is, to separate it from these down here. But I'll do that, I think, later. When we do this one, we'll figure out what to call it. Now, what I do want to do is I want to take the flowers. I want to make a copy. Come down here and then paste it right into there. Okay, so I've got a copy of it here, and then I can just move them over like this. Because what I want to do is take them and just place them here, and I'll morph them a little bit. They're so much alike, you can't really tell. I think that's going to be quick. So really all I need to do is basically the stalk here, the branches. So I'll create another folder. I'll put it under flowers. And for the time being, I'm just going to hide those. And this one I'm going to call branches, so that it is just like what we have above, and I'm going to add a layer right there. Select black, select my favorite brush, and I think, yeah, that might be good right there. And I'm just going to then create these branches. Now, one thing I want to do is I'm thinking about putting a flower behind a branch, so just to give it some depth. So if I do that, I'll have to put it below it so it goes through, but we'll get to that in just a second. Now, this is one of the things I really love about digital art is, it's like what I just did with this through the tutorial, is I changed my mind, and you should be able to change your mind. You see something and you want to, to try. And in this case, the reason I wanted to change it out, I felt that one plant was going to be too, would steal all the focus. Okay. Let me hide our sketch, and there it is in the background. I think that's going to do pretty good. Okay, now the next thing is, if you remember what we did with this one, we're going to create another layer, and then I'm going to control click this bottom layer so that I have it as a selection, and I'm going to shrink it by 3. Okay, and I'm going to fill that with black, and then I'm going to go one more. I'm going to shrink this down another 3, fill that with black, and then we'll do one more, again shrinking down 3 and fill it with black. All right, now I need the largest one to be the lightest color. And we're trying to stay within the browns, so I think like right in here. And we need that to be lighter, so that becomes our color for this. So drop it in. I'm going to add another layer, and of course then we're going to pick the next size. We'll make this a little bit. That should do it. Okay, now let's go up one more, and we'll go up just a little bit darker. Add one more, and finally we're in the smallest area, and we're also going to go the darkest. Okay, and there we have. Now let's see how that looks then. Yeah, it's going to be pretty close. Close enough. Because they're opposite ends, the light's going to shine differently on them anyways. Okay, now we need to come down. I want to turn off. Yeah, there we go. So 1, 2, 3. Did we get a double? I think we may have doubled up something. Yeah. That guy right there. Okay, so how I can fix that? I'm just going to add a layer. Actually, I don't need to. Let me delete that layer. I'm going to pick the magic wand, pick that color, and hit X. And then I'm going to do a Control V while that was selected, and it'll put it right back. Okay, now I can hide that, and I have to now go in and grab that color. So grab my bucket, grab this color, and make sure I'm on the right layer before I go and click on all that. I got to make sure that I'm within only connected pixels. I don't want this area to get it. So there we go. And there we are. Okay, now, since we're this close, this is good. So we're going to do the filter or the blurring, but I need to click on this guy. I want the edge because I don't want anything to blur beyond that edge. And down to Gaussian blur, and that's probably all I want to do. And let's go up to the next one. Again, we're going to do the Gaussian blur. That's good enough too. And one more time. And I think I'm going to go with that. Okay, now what we need to do is come down to the first visible layer, and I'm going to add a layer. So what we want is for this back side to actually get a bounce light instead of, you know, like what we did with this one. Because the light source is coming from here, we don't want the back to have the same as the front. So all I'm going to do is grab my blending brush, and I think that blue might be enough, and I'm just going to paint it right in. Okay, now I have some things crossing over, so I'll have to clean that up too. And we're going to do that in just a moment. So I'm thinking that this one right here will go behind this one. We'll have a flower here, and I'm thinking about putting a flower here to be but it will be behind this branch here. And then we'll have this one. So it'll feel like this is coming forward, and this one was being pushed back, or was basically on the other side of this. So we'll do something here to make that appear that way as well. And as for this one, we'll probably bring it up in front of this one. Okay, so here's how we're going to do it. We'll start off with, you know, going to the next layer, because the yellow goes all the way through everything, so this is good. And then I'm going to pick my invisible ink and make this, you know, we'll do it like that. So we said that this one's going to go in front of this one. So what I'm going to do is I would, let's do that one first. Because see, it kind of did something there, and I'm going to do this one first. And then you just soften that up. This, however, I want to keep this one dark. Okay, we'll come down to this one, and we're going to remove here. I think I need to do this one as well. Yeah. Okay, now I want to have, I don't necessarily need to have a shadow there because it's not going to, we're not saying it's close to this. Okay, so now, like the second one, that's going to work. So all the way to the top. And I want to have that big of a gap. And then we'll do it again with this one. And once again with that one. And then we can come down to this guy here. Yep. And we'll just kind of paint it in like that. Soften that one up. Okay. And we'll do Control D, and let's see. I think that is going to work, although I may need some more shadows in there. So I'm going to come up to this guy, add another layer here, and I want to actually make a darker color. So I'm going to pick this inside color here and just go just a bit darker. This will give us a chance to kind of have some layers. I'm going to click on this layer here so that I get the search marquee going. And I'm just going to do like one side here. Just kind of soften this up with this darker color. And the same right here, because we said that this one's going to go behind. So what I want to do is like this with it. And then I'm going to grab my invisible ink again, pull this down like that. And go down one more. And one more again. Okay, come back up to the top, grab our dark color again, and now we can just kind of do that to it. Do something similar to this guy. It's basically you're trying to get rid of more of the yellow than that blue, but that's okay because with the way I'm doing it, some of the blue, that blue is going to shine through, and we'll have that kind of a backlighting effect that I was going for with the earlier layer. This will just kind of cap it off. And also, you know, don't want it to these to be like that they're like they're a flat piece of wood, like a, you know, those carpenter's pencils that flat on one, you know, on two sides. We want it to feel like it is kind of round, but not necessarily a perfect roundness all the way. It can, you know, it's got some texture to it. And if we were to wanted this to be real close, we could actually put in some texture. Like, you know, bark texture, or I don't know what kind of texture this actually would be, but we'd figure that out. Okay, let's drop back a little bit. I think that might work. Let's turn off our search. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Now what we have to do is fix this bottom portion here. So what I'm going to do is click on that, and let's go paint it in. And then I want it to fall behind the rocks. So what I'm going to do is Control D. I'm going to come up to this guy right here using my lasso. Then we'll just do something like this. And then I can hit delete. Now, that works because I was, right there in the branches, on the folder itself. And now what I want to do is come back here, and I'm going to kind of soften this up and darken it at the same time. And I need to have my, there we go, paint, my blender brush to do this. And now I'm going to kind of do this to it, so it's because it's coming from between those two rocks. And we'll just kind of like that. Okay, let's back off, and yeah, I think that's going to work. Okay, now we have our branches. Let's come down to the flowers and turn them on, and I'm now going to grab one of them, this one here. Okay, and I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to do a copy and paste, and what it should do, it's not what I was expecting it to do. Oh, because, good one. Now come here and hit Control. Now turn it off, and then hit, okay, and that's what, now we just get that one. And that's exactly what I want. And so it's there. Now, I'm going to grab it and let's turn off the search. Hit Control T using this. And I'm going to just kind of straighten it out like that for now. Then I'll come up to my Edit Transform, and I'm going to flip it horizontally. So the shiny, the bright side's over here and the shadow side's over there. And now we can bring this up, put it right there. Let's, and I think since I've actually it's created a little closer, let's make this flower a little bigger. Yeah, and now we can just drop it right on. Okay, and now I'm going to hit Alt, press the Alt key on my keyboard while I have this selected, and I can drag a copy right on over. And I'm going to hit Control T. Let's try that again. Control T. I didn't have the Control key properly pushed down when I hit the T. Okay, and I'm going to put this here. Like that. I want it on that one. If I'm going to have this one here. Yeah, maybe. And just kind of change its shape just a little bit. You don't have to do much to it because, it's not really necessary. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make another copy, just like that, and I'm going to drag it under the branches, and I'm going to put him right here, and let's do Control T. Of course, my problem is that I need it to go over that. So the way to do that is to hit Okay, select it, right? Okay, but before I do that, I want to make sure I have it in place. And I think that'll work fine. Then I'm going to do a control click on the folder for this flower. Come up to branches, and I want to delete that tip, but I don't want to delete this. So what we do is come over and pick our selection pen. We'll shrink this guy right on down and see how it, whoop, wrong one. Want to do the erase pen, and we'll bring it right up to there, like that. In fact, we can just do that, it's safer. Because it's just the tip we want to get rid of in the shape of this guy here. Okay, so with the branches selected, I'm just going to hit delete and check it out. Okay, now do Control D to turn that off, and I can still, whoop, wrong guy, I can still move this guy around a little bit to give me whatever shape I want. Okay, now, not shape, but position. Okay, I think I want to do a little one this size here, but a tiny one over here. So, with my Alt key down, I am going to, got that. Okay, let me delete those two guys because I don't need them anymore. But this one here, I'm going to hit the Alt key and drag out another copy, set him on top of this one. Bend him down just a little bit, kind of give it kind of the curve there. And then what we'll do is we'll form him just kind of a little bit. You don't have to do much. And put him there. Let's say okay. And then we'll have a real big one up here. So grab that guy again, and this time I'm going to make him a little bigger, and we'll tilt him kind of then like he's following that branch right up. Okay, let's look. I think that's going to be pretty good. I'm going to create let's see, where do I want to do this? I could just create a layer. And I want to pick a nice, this red. And what we're going to do is grab my pen there, paper pen, and we're just going to kind of add some guys here. Because they're going to be flowers someday. We gotta let them get a start. Okay, so come back, and there we go. Okay, we're gonna still continue on. I'm gonna create a folder, and what I'm gonna do is these other guys, and they're gonna be quick because we're not gonna really shade them much. Maybe not at all. May not have to. I'm going to just call this twigs and add a layer, and let's turn back on our sketch. And let's do this guy here first, and then once we have him, we'll have a good idea of how to do this, how we want to do it. So I want a light color, but I don't necessarily. And by the way, there's some other treatments we're going to do to this. So whatever we put here, however bright it is, we're going to bring it down anyways. So, and I'm just going to. it's just kind of get a feel. Some of them, they don't necessarily have to all be there. Okay, we'll come back and let's turn off our sketch. Yeah, I think that's going to work. So I'm going to call, this is just going to be branches, just like before. And we'll create another one we'll call flowers. So when we get done with the treatment, it's going to push this even further back. But for now, this is just, we'll get them all drawn and in place. And go back to the branches and okay, and we'll do this one, and we'll have it kind of go right down between the rocks there. Okay, now this one's closer. So we're all done. It will be a little bit clearer, have more color. And I don't remember if I was planning on these, but I'm deciding now. I'm going to make them twigs. Okay. Let's back up. Okay, looks like I got all the twigs. So let's turn off our sketch. And now we'll come here and we're going to pick a color, which will be a red. And we're just going to then, with our brush, you know, just kind of put some this is all we need to do. We don't need really any detail on those. Yeah, these are babies. They'll someday grow up to be and have big flowers like their parents. Yeah. Okay, now all I think we need to do is I'm going to click on this, and that's just going to highlight each one of them. And I'm going to add another layer, and this is going to be shadow. Pick black, and I'm going to grab my paint and apply brush and just kind of I'm going to soften that, by the way, but this one we probably won't, because I don't know how far away from that rock it really is. But we're going to want yeah, this one we'll probably do too. Okay, let me back out a little bit. Let's turn that off. Okay, and now what I want to do is bring my, just kind of, so it's casting a little bit of a shadow onto the rocks. Kind of helps us also to kind of root them in behind like that. Again, we're going to push some of this back, so you know, the shadows here for these guys will be more in line with what we're seeing back there. Okay, this one we can make the brush a little bit bigger and just kind of Okay, let's come out. Okay, we still have to root that guy in, and I think that's it. Okay, so and then we'll be done. We're going to fix this guy up because he is, where is he? He is right there. Okay. So grab, yeah, that's cool. Create another layer. Make sure we have black. I am going to select this guy. And then just kind of paint it in like so. And I don't mind if some of it shows through that because, you know, I'm going to get some kind of lighting. Okay, now hit Control D to turn that off, and then what I want to do is now seat him right in there. He's like, we've got boulders to protect him. And then we'll come out. There we go. All right. That's it for those. Then in the next one, we'll put in the other plants, and then we'll have all the plants done, and then we can start really turning this into water.